Hi there. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Dr. Kent Ferguson here from Oliver Chiropractic Wellness Clinic. I'm here with Alisa Miller from Oliver Chiropractic Wellness Clinic, and today in this video, what we're going to be discussing is the difference between acid and alkaline foods, and why it's important to know the difference between these foods, because it will have an effect on your body. So if you are someone who likes to comment on videos and this information resonates with you, please don't hesitate to comment, share your experiences with us. And also, if you feel that this information is going to be helpful for you, your family members, or any groups that you're on, please share this video with them as well. So again, I'm here with Alisa, and today we're going to be discussing the difference between acid and alkaline foods. But before we get into that, Alisa, can you help our viewers understand a little bit more about you and your practice and what you offer?
Sure. Hi, I'm Alisa Miller. I am the holistic nutrition consultant here, and I help people with nutrition, and I also work with some herbal, and I have assessment tools like iridology I use, and I also teach yoga and meditation here at the clinic.
Okay, great. So Alisa has a few tools and talents under her belt.
Yeah.
So when it comes to food, okay, as a chiropractor, I talk to my patients about food fairly often, and most people, a lot of times, not even myself, are necessarily thinking about food in terms of acid and alkaline.
Right.
We tend to think about food from the standpoint of proteins, carbohydrates, of fats, and the calories that those foods might be supplying us on any given day.
Right.
Okay, so can you help help the viewers understand a little bit more about the difference between acid and alkaline foods?
Sure. So acidic foods are foods that cause acidity in the body.
Mm-hmm.
They're generally foods that deplete of nutrients that are alkalizing and nutrients that our body needs, or they're foods that cause more acidity in the body or inflammation. Alkaline foods are foods that are generally really nutrient dense, and then they have those vitamins and minerals especially, that help to alkalize.
Okay, so acidic foods tend to break us down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and alkaline foods tend to replenish. Now, what are some of the consequences then of a diet that's too rich in acidic foods?
Right. So there's many conditions that a lot of people have now with the diet that a lot of people eat that are from probably a little too much acidity in the diet. Mm-hmm. So this can be a lot of the inflammatory conditions, like any kind of inflammation, whether it's edema or intestinal IBS kind of inflammation, bone loss, and also calcium deposits in the wrong places. Mm-hmm. That is also due to acidity, stress, anxiety, depression. A lot of those conditions are also linked to acidity in the diet.
Okay. All right. Now then, the flip side to that, what are some of the consequences, if you will, of a diet that is too alkaline in nature?
Right. So this is a lot harder. We tend to be a little bit more acidic, and once we get into the foods, that'll make more sense to people.
Okay.
But you can be too alkaline, but generally being too alkaline is protein in itself is a little bit acidic. So generally, people who are too alkaline are actually just protein deficient. Okay. And that, of course, your body does need protein. Your entire body needs it to function properly. So
right. So
yeah.
Again, it comes right back down to that balance, right?
Yes.
Okay. So again, if you're tuning in, Dr. Kent Ferguson here from Oliver Chiropractic Wellness Clinic, and Alisa Miller from Oliver Chiropractic Wellness Clinic. And today, what we're doing is we're discussing the difference between acid foods and alkaline foods, and then really what are some of the consequences of not understanding, okay, being too far on one spectrum or the other. So again, if you have information to share about your experiences with acid and alkaline foods, please place your comments in the comment section below, and please like and share this video so it's more widely available, this information, because it might help someone else. Okay, so getting back to the topic at hand, when it comes to acidic foods, what are some examples of those types of foods?
Right. So the most acidic thing that we tend to eat is sugar or sugar products. Especially like sodas are quite acidic.
Yes.
They're obviously high in the sugar, but they also have a certain type of phosphorus that is really acidic to the body. Mm-hmm. And then there are some healthy foods like that are acidic as well. So meat slightly acidic. Some of your grains, especially the ones that contain gluten, are slightly acidic.
Okay.
Legumes, nuts, those are still healthy to eat, but like we said earlier, it's a balance between the alkaline foods and the acidic foods.
Okay.
But yeah, caffeine, alcohol, sugar are kind of the main culprits.
Caffeine, alcohol, and sugar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's you've probably been told to stay away from all those three from a completely different topic area.
Yeah.
But again, there's going to be some commonalities there. Now, when it comes to alkaline foods, what are some examples for a viewer of alkaline foods?
Right. So like you said with the other things, there's some basics are water. Water is very alkalizing to the body. Lemon is very alkalizing, and a lot of your dark greens are very alkalizing. Most vegetables are actually alkalizing. There's only a small group of vegetables that aren't, which are the nightshade family. But most vegetables are alkalizing. But in that, the dark leafy green vegetables, because they're very high in calcium and magnesium, and the types that our body really needs, those are the most alkaline.
Okay. Now, from a preparation perspective, what does cooking do to acidic foods, and what does cooking do to alkaline foods?
Right. The thing with acidity is if you're cooking your fats wrong. So all fats have a smoke point, and you can look up a smoke point chart. But like, for example, olive oil is quite a low smoke point. So if you're cooking with it, it changes the fat structure and becomes more acidic in the body. So olive oil is better on like a salad or a dressing or something like that, where coconut oil or a lot of your butter or ghee are really good, like higher smoke points to cook with.
Okay, all right. And it won't necessarily mess with the nutritional components of it as much.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Now, again, if you're just tuning in and you wonder what are these two people talking about, what we're talking about is the difference between acid and alkaline foods. We're going over what examples of foods give more acid or alkaline properties, and what are some of the consequences of that in the body. If this information, again, is being helpful for you, or you feel that this information is helpful for someone else, please share the video within your group, the groups that you're a part of, or family members. Okay? If you have some information that you think would be helpful from your own experiences, please comment in the comment section below and like the video as well. Signs and symptoms, right, that may indicate that someone is eating too much acidic and too much alkaline foods.
Right, so we kind of discussed a little bit with the conditions, but anything inflammatory, if you're dealing with anything inflammatory in the body, bone loss, anything like that, as well as stress, fatigue, especially the wrong times of the day, irregular heartbeat, like a lot of cardiovascular things can also be acid-alkaline imbalance. So those are some symptoms. Some of those are very common for other things as well, like especially stress. Some people don't think of that specifically for stress, but if our body's having to react because it's too acidic, it can cause our body to be a little stressed out.
Well, that makes a complete amount of sense. I mean, when you're looking at the typical 9 to 5 plus that a lot of people have to deal with and work with. If you are someone that is having trouble preparing meals, having to eat out fast food a lot, processed food, maybe higher in sugar, that might be contributing to that wheel of stress that you're experiencing. So one way to stick your finger in that wheel is to watch what you eat to a certain extent, right? Okay. Okay, well, some of this might be, resonating with me. Fast food, sugar, some alcohol. How can they go about for themselves whether or not they may be a little bit more acidic or a little bit more alkaline?
Right. So they can buy pH strips. A lot of health food stores sell them. I know you do some testing for pH as well. And there are limitations to the pH test, the testing, so you just want to make sure you're doing it correctly. Also, when I do my assessment, in the questions and things I ask, I do have some tools to identify that, and I do iridology, which is the study of the iris, and you can determine some inflammation and acidity. So,
okay. All right, so I've been here with Alisa. I'm Dr. Kent Ferguson, and we've been discussing the difference between acid and alkaline foods. So to summarize what we talked about what acid and alkaline is. Acid foods tend to break it down. Alkaline foods tend to build us up a little bit more. As a diet higher in acidity, more inflamed. And when you're not acidic, you're less inflamed. Less
Think of how it works.
yeah, less hot, right? And then, but with that, a lot of signs and symptoms that someone can gain from a diet that's too acidic or too alkaline can be reversed by the food choices.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then again, you can always look at testing at home through pH strips. There are some limitations. You want to test at different times of the day, over multiple days, and if not. So that's what we discussed today. And if you didn't catch all that, rewind. Just take that, slide it all the way back, and watch the video from the beginning. But when it comes to helping people with their acid or alkaline food choices, how can you help?
Sure. So acid alkaline is very based on what you do and put in your body.
Yeah.
So of course nutrition is major for that. So I help people come up with individualized plans so that they can support that and support their overall health, but balance their acid and alkaline. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking for a little bit of extra support, Alisa is available here at the clinic. You can give us a call at 780-455-2112, and our staff will find a time for you guys to connect, go over some of your goals, concerns, and then find a pathway. Okay? Our health is completely under our control. So, thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. Information helpful. Please share the information, comment on the videos, and again, we'll be back in the future with more information to share. For find helpful. Thanks for coming by.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.